The Survivor Specialists are back, and today we continue the road to 50 with Jackets and Eggs, Angelina's iconic episode, which also has Christian in the Brochos and Mike White ultimately being the deciding vote in this episode. I got Gross Boy Blake, I got McKenna, and I got John. Gross Boy Blake is wearing a hoodie and was yelling at everybody to go get their jackets. So then John and McKenna actually put on jackets, but Blake is wearing a hoodie and insists that it's a jacket.
I have a delivery.
Getting food delivered. There we go. Eggs.
Whoa!
She's got them both. Is that going to be like $1 million?
Now break all of them real quick.
Yeah. Now make Carrie clean up all of it. Just throw them on the ground.
It's just for the bit.
She thinks you actually like wanted eggs. Yeah. So we are here. John McKenna and I did this for the most defining episode series over the summer when we did actually Mike White's defining episode. Because we were trying to figure out defining episodes for Mike, Angelina, and Christian. And we wanted to get the big ones from David vs. Goliath. And Angelina's, we ultimately chose the rice negotiation. This one, we went with Mike White's because Mike White, throughout this entire season, he does a lot, but he doesn't do that much. And this is actually one of the episodes where he really takes control and makes sure that this happens. Because Angelina, I think, was going to go whatever way he was going to go. And so we chose this as Mike White's defining episode, but it is the moment heard around the world of Natalie, is there any way I can have your jacket? And Mike just putting his head in his hands. And then Natalie, and somebody says it here, St. Cliffo, it's the last Natalie that makes it. It really is the shameless.
After her torch is snuffed, just like before Natalie before.
You could still hear Natalie echoing in the woods of Fiji. People still hear it as they get voted out. Blake, you have I Heart Angelina. John's undressing. Blake, you aren't like really high on the Angelina train. You didn't take her in the fantasy game, right? You didn't take her.
I would have taken her third, but I only had 2 picks before you guys took her. And Will has no idea what he's doing. He's not building a good team. I thought Angelina would be there in the 6th round. Angelina's not making it to the end of the merge. What the hell? I think it was so funny. There was a lot of glimpses of why I love Angelina, of like they're shooting a slingshot and instead of just being like, oh, or, ooh, Angelina was like, that one was so close. And you're like, if someone was saying that over my shoulder, I'd be like, that doesn't do anything for me. Like, okay, thank you. Like, it's just that layer of not annoyance, but like, it just not stating the actual thing, but she's just living in the moment as hard as she can all the time. And you're just like, that would be so fun to watch for another 5 seasons. But if someone was behind me being like, great try, Blake, you got this, or that,
just like that, but to the left. Yeah,
I think the most famous one ever is the good job, good effort, whenever it was the NBA where it was the Heat was losing to somebody. I think it was the Mavericks. Yeah, it was like, it's that long ago. Or there's just a kid from the Miami Heat crowd going, good job, good effort.
Okay, now we're different.
I don't even know how to follow this up.
That's
what
what
I'm talking about now.
John, it's your moment.
My moment. I think it totally makes sense why this episode was chosen for these replays. I mean, it perfectly highlights all 3 of the cast members from this. Like, we chose it for Mike White's defining episode because it's like his big, like, definitive, like, strategic moment in the game where he really kind of gains the control of everything. It has the Brochos, which really shows off Christian as like this massive social player who can fit in with people you don't even think he should be able to fit in with. And it has Angelina being Angelina.
Yeah, the Brochos thing was fun, and it gets overshadowed in this episode because people always talk about Christian being part of the Brochos, but because it happens in this Angelina episode, like when you hear Jackets and Eggs, you know that this is this Angelina episode. I think Mike White kind of getting his Natalie is just awful to be around. I can't stand her and wanting to be one of the rock stars. And Blake and I were chatting before this. It's so interesting that the final 3 is Angelina, Mike, and Nick, but they don't really get there because they're super tight the entire post merge. Like you would like, because they're on this tribe. If I were to tell you they're the final 3, you'd be like, oh, well, good. They navigated it and figured it out. They don't really play that way. it's just they always have a common enemy at some point that says, okay, well, we're the most tolerable people. A lot of big personalities on the season. I think why David vs. Goliath works so well. But they like Mike White just cannot stand Natalie so much. And then Angelina even is like, Natalie's kind of annoying. And it's like, what? Angelina's saying that? Like, what is going on? And then Lyrsa obviously pretty much just yelling at her. And then when I think my favorite part of this episode, though, is Angelina tells Natalie, I want to get that jacket, but you need to do the dirty work for me. So Natalie does the dirty work. And then Natalie gets voted out, and Angelina asks for the jacket, actually expecting her to give up the jacket. Like, you told her your plan and then made her the butt of the joke.
I think
why would that ever work?
The best part is Natalie purposefully putting on the jacket for her exit little snippet, her final words is like, yeah, of course I'm going to be wearing this jacket and taking it home. Thank you very much. I know you didn't vote for me, but you knew it was happening.
But it's not, I know you didn't vote for me. It's like, I don't know you didn't vote for me. I don't know if this other vote for Lyrsa came from you or from someone else. It's so funny.
Yeah, because I guess she doesn't know if it's Mike White, right? Like she could think that it was Mike, but also Angelina, God bless her. I'm so excited for her on 50. But like, as you sit here and you watch Angelina here, if you're Natalie, you know that 3-2 vote, Mike might have betrayed you, but Angelina absolutely betrayed you too. And like, Angelina thinks by throwing that vote for
that some sort of help.
Like, yeah, like, oh no, Natalie, I was on your side the whole time. And like, Blake, you always like to do your impersonations. Angelina's gasp when she realizes it's Natalie is probably the worst gasp in Survivor history.
She immediately gets up. I just want to hug you in this sad moment. I think the other impression that I think is funnier this time is I don't really think Christian is nerdy, where it's like I would make fun of him if I was in the same room. Except for this episode, he does the most Big Bang Theory thing possible, where he does the final shot, and is it the immunity? What? Oh no, he's doing the maze. He does the final part of the maze, and he wins, and they all crowd, and he's like, "Thank you, I did it with all of you guys' support," and you're just like, "What?" That was the most like. We get you have an advanced degree, but please just be normal. Just go, let's go. Not, I could only do this with all of you guys behind my back. You're like, what in the world is this nerd doing? This loser even.
Why did you preface this with, I don't think he's nerdy enough that I would make fun of him if I was in the same room? Is that something you do for nerds, Blake?
I mean, there's an ecosystem. There's always a bigger fish, you know? In the Brochos mode, I'd be the nerd, and Revenge of the Nerd, or what's that one show on
King of the Nerds?
King of the Nerds. I would get voted out first there. They'd be like, this guy doesn't even know Final Fantasy VI. What?
If they're talking about Final Fantasy VI, it's like the worst one. But I appreciate you going here. This is important, but I just needed to focus on the Angelina thing, Blake. You changed the subject, and
she's on White Lotus. She's actually a really good actress.
I let you finish every time instead of just interrupting you to be like, oh, it's so much better that we went on a tangent rather than answering the question, because that's what you do when somebody doesn't answer your question. God. But it's the fact that Lyrsa actually can't believe that she's still in. Mm-hmm. Natalie can't believe that she is out. So they both have genuine like, oh my God. And then Angelina, when she realizes Natalie's looking at her, goes, and it's like the most half-assed, hand over mouth. Like, clearly, I know that I'm supposed to be doing this. And you bring up that she was in White Lotus. Like, she's pretty good in White Lotus. Like, her and Kara do a good job.
That's what Mike White when you let him direct you, when you put him in a plan, he's got the plan. If I'm on Mike White's season, I'm just whatever you want, Mike, so I can get final 3. Like. Whoever's on his tribe on 50 and voting out Mike White, you lost the game as soon as you did that. The other person that I think not on 50, I think maybe if 400 people had gotten 6, she could have made it on 50. Lyrsa. what a blast from a past of like this is a crazy person I forgot about, where I don't know if this is gameplay or strategy, but just going, I just want to make the merge.
And I don't want Natalie to make the merge either. Yeah.
Like, what is that? Big sigh.
We've talked about the jacket. Since you mentioned Lyrsa, let's talk about the eggs of the whole fight between Natalie and Lyrsa, where Lyrsa's like, I'm a chef. I know how to prepare things.
She was magna cum laude at culinary school. I don't know if they do that, but okay.
And she's like, I know how to store these. It's fine. They'll be able to last. We cook a few now, store them, and we're good. And Natalie's like, no, let's just cook them and eat them. It's 2 each, MBD.
Whose side are we on this, John?
Lyrsa's the specialist. I'll take Lyrsa's side.
Whose side are you on, Blake?
Natalie.
Whose side are you on, McKenna?
Lyrsa.
You guys are crazy. It is Natalie all the way. Cook the damn eggs. It's 10 eggs.
Just eat 2 eggs each.
If I can eat a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow, I'd rather do that than eat everything all at once and still be hungry tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's an egg. How full are you going to get from one egg? Just eat both eggs. I mean, here's my thing.
Eat one egg for breakfast every day, Phil.
Have you ever had? Oh, that's all you eat? Is one egg?
What if a snake crawls into your tribe and eats your eggs?
No, I'm asking that. You eat one egg for breakfast. That's it. You don't eat anything else with that egg.
Well, now that my toaster's dead, yes, I eat just an egg.
Okay. I mean, that's crazy. I every time that if I have like avocado toast, I'm putting an egg on each piece of toast. So that's why I'm shocked that you're like, I eat one egg for breakfast. I'm like, that's crazy to me. Like, I can't fathom eating one egg for breakfast. So maybe you're right, but I'm a big believer in food germs. I don't know how often we've all gotten food poisoning here. I feel like risking food poisoning on Survivor just isn't worth it. Just eat the eggs, because if tomorrow it is bad, I don't want to be the one who eats the bad egg.
Yeah, but so many people leave eggs on their counter if they get them fresh from a chicken too. So
with
like
the ocean air coming in.
The difference is it's
you also
Fiji
put them
together,
underground
right?
too. Know where you dug them. It'll be colder under the sand.
That's actually a good point. Look, okay, McKenna, but that wasn't the argument Lyrsa made. So you're on team Lyrsa as long as she's burying the eggs.
Right.
Yeah.
If we were in tribe before, we would have fought over eggs too.
Well,
and we fought over jackets / hoodies earlier.
But also, like, Natalie, if she wants her 2 eggs, let her eat her 2 eggs, and then I'll have my eggs later. Like, why can't we also divide the eggs like this? You boys have your eggs, and I'll have mine later.
And you know what the best part of that would have been? Natalie would have been the only one eating 2 eggs, because they all would have went to get the eggs the next day, and they would have been 95 degrees because of how hot it is in Fiji. And Lyrsa's magna cum laude would have gotten her voted out this episode.
I think the wildest thing about this entire exchange, this is a chicken reward challenge, and it's not the chicken tribe having the arguments about the reward. What is that? How did this even happen?
Yeah. We actually, do we ever see them with the chickens? Like, I don't,
not that I can remember.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
Substantially.
And so you're right. Normally the drama's around the chicken, and instead now it's around the people who got eggs.
The other crazy Christian moment, I think, was him delivering.
We talked about South Pacific last week. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, thank you.
No, the Christian, the guy, right? That's his name, the nerd guy,
the wrestler.
Whenever
the Edge,
whenever he was like, what is it? His name is Christian, right? Why
yes,
but
Christianity. We talk South Pacific.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
I know you like WWE, so Christian, the Edge
was like, oh, there's a massive tsunami coming. We're not joking, bitch. Get on these boats and go talk to Jeff. Only time that's happened in Survivor history, or there's 2 times?
Two millennials versus Gen X.
And that hasn't happened yet, or that just
happened beforehand.
33 and 37.
Fiji. That's why they probably moved a month over after the season. Like they did that.
It was 33 and 37.
Exactly. That's what I said. So it is when Christian goes, we're all Davids when it comes to the Goliath of Mother Nature. Goliath. I was like, all right, he's a narrator, bro. He he will play ball with producers. I'm expecting him to be a narrator on season 50 for sure.
But who had the okay, let's talk about this. Sorry, John. I know you want to jump in, but I just have to do this because Davey posted the thing today on TikTok and Instagram, and he was like, "How did the producers let me say this and then air it?" Where he says, "I got to get my black ass out of here." It's so funny, and like knowing Davey and seeing how he is on the rest of the season, it is one of those lines that's like kind of out of character for him, but he says it with such a smile that it's really not. And you're like, dude, you're getting pulled out of Survivor. This has happened one time. An earthquake happened and they just let it go. A flood happened in Australia. They just let it go. This is serious enough that they need to get you out. And he's like, I got to get my. It's so funny that he does that. And I love that he posted that thing today. And then Natalie's confessional is, I always think, one of the most badass confessionals. Like, I think we got to leave now. When like the wind just picks up and drills her. I love that so much.
I don't care about the weather. It doesn't affect me. It affects everybody else. All right, maybe let's head out.
Yeah, let's go.
It is just one of those moments where I think this is what people complain about in the new era. It's like lacking is because like we have this, we're in the same spot. Why aren't we seeing these crazy storms anymore? And it's because 26-day seasons means we can move when the seasons are being filmed. So they're not in the height of, cyclone season anymore. But I think this is kind of what's lacking a bit in modern Survivor is this sense of, this is still that survivalism that Survivor used to bring, right? And we just don't get it. And look at just what it gave for confessionals and how exciting it made these confessionals around it, giving it something for everyone to really talk about and give genuine emotional response to.
Yeah, I mean, when they go back to the one shelter, it is so demolished. When Angelina, I think
tree falling on it.
Yeah, is it Angelina who says that would have been game over?
Yeah,
and that's
so.
Like Angelina is the queen of exaggeration. She's not exaggerating there. Like she really would have been game over for whoever was in that shelter. They would have gotten like crushed. So, yeah, I mean, it's legit. I mean, obviously they can't control the weather, and I don't think Survivor wants to be pulling people out of the game because of how bad the weather is. But this was one of those moments where you're like, wow, Survivor still is that real. It's still that crazy. And I think this whole entire situation, like Jacket and Eggs delivers. It's one of the best pre-merge episodes because you also forget it's coming on the heels of Natalia being blindsided. Yeah. So now you have Carl coming into this alliance where now the Davids have the numbers, and Kara and Alec, like we all know they dated after this, but they weren't together at this moment. And then you obviously have the entire situation of, what's going on with Jacket and Eggs. And then you have the Brochos. There's so much going on in this episode. And then with this pulling everybody off the island, it's a really fun episode across the board. And it does do a good job of really highlighting this entire cast. Like even Elizabeth, who barely says anything. What does she say? It's like shooting squirrels with my something, like when she knocks
was really excited. Yeah, she was really excited about the challenge and the chickens.
And I was going to point out somebody that like, I don't think I've ever been like, bring back him, even on all this snub talk. It's like, I kind of enjoyed having Dan have a moment of like, maybe he's not that likable 3 episodes from now, but it is kind of like, oh, I'm doing something I never thought I would. And then I did it again when I found another idol. And like, it's not that I've been frustrated with idols in New Era, but it's like, oh, it was the funnest time ever is China's Above the Thing. And the other funnest time ever is in challenges. And like, did we ever have somebody get an idol found in a challenge and they looked and were like, you're going home because I found you with that idol? It's like,
no.
Why did we not do that long enough where we could get a cycle of people that know the meta of every 5 seconds I'm looking behind me because I got to check to see if Adam Klein grabbed that idol behind me or not.
That's something that Will, John, and I talked about on Celebrating Survivor this last episode is where are the idols hidden in challenges? Because this is kind of like the era where they were doing it a decent amount, and it's just something so easy that you're able to do that in the new era. But because they aren't like quote unquote real idols, they're beware advantages. They can't fully do that unless it's like, you have to grab this or you lose your vote, kind of like Elaine's situation in Island of the Idols.
You know what would be crazy though, McKenna? Why can't they just change it up for this one thing and say this one's just an idol? The beware part of it is trying to go grab it in the challenge. And I'm not being sarcastic with you. I'm just being
I know.
Like, why can't they just do that?
They could, and then if you don't grab it in that challenge, you lose your vote, and you have to try and get it at the next challenge or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so when we're talking about all of this stuff that's going on here, like, yeah, I think that they could easily do that. I think that, like, you know, just having to risk it in the challenge is enough of a beware that if you don't get it, you lose your vote, whatever. Blake, you were talking about the cast. This is one cast where, like, every single person who makes the post merge, with probably without, except for Allison, I would watch play again. Like, they could bring back Johnny Mundo, they could bring back Alec, Carl, Gabby, Christian, Dan, Elizabeth. No, she goes out so early though. And then, like, Mike, obviously, Nick does play again. Angelina, Kara could play. Like, there's so much here, especially now. Kara's selling like $10 million homes on the weekly, so she's killing it. There's a lot to chew on here with this cast. This cast is great. So yeah, I think that's a good point. And then we have this comment here. I'm sure everybody saw this. And Blake, the word casted is here, so cover your eyes. Daryl Seymour, funny thing, Blake, Christian said in his pre-50 interview that he believes he was cast to be one of the narrators. So Christian, if everybody hasn't watched this, he breaks down the entire cast of where he thinks they're going to go. You got your physical beast, you got your strategist, you got your narrators. He thinks he's one of the narrators. And that's what's funny about Christian is everybody looks at Christian as a strategist and he should be scared of him. How good is he really going to do on this season? People are going to come for him. But at the end of the day, Christian is much more of a narrator than anything. Do we, and Blake, I know you already said it, so John or McKenna, do you think that Christian really is going to fall right into that role, whether he's a first boot, whether he's a second boot, whether he's post-merge, whether he's final three? Do you think he is like one of the 2 or 3 narrators from this 24-person cast, no matter what?
One of the other things that Christian said in that pregame interview was that he wants to be a story writer and learn from what he experienced with Mike in this season and how Mike approached the game. And that's what he wants to take into this game. So I think he will. I also think he has that confessional. It'll be tough because you have a lot of really great confessional givers on this cast. Christian is one that these producers are going to highlight, though. He has that type of personality that really draws people in. And he has his own unique way of explaining things, where I think, like, you'll have someone like Coach being a narrator a lot of the time. You'll probably get Q being a narrator for however long he's on the season. And you will have someone like Mike White, who is literally a writer, narrating things. But I think Christian has, like, just a slightly different enough approach to the way he explains everything that will put him in that narrator role. And I would be shocked if we don't get like 2 to 3 confessionals minimum from him every episode, even when there are 24 people on this cast.
And I'm just looking at the tribe breakdown. I believe for him, he's probably for his tribe, then Devin's for his tribe, and somewhere between Coach or Mike White for the other tribe.
Yeah, I mean, that one with Devins or with Mike White and Coach, it's like you want Mike White for what's actually happening. You want Coach for the fantasy element. You know, like that's where, yeah, I think this Christian tribe
is Q for the fantasy or something like that. Christian for like what's actually going on.
Well, no, Christian's on the tribe with Devins.
Oh, this is a different. I wasn't looking at the actual tribe.
Yeah, it's Christian, Joe, Ozzy,
Devin.
Oh,
yeah.
Christian and Devin are narrating there. Savannah, Sari, Emily, Jenna. I mean, that's Christian, Devins, and Sari are going to be driving everybody nuts. They're going to get all the screen time there.
Yeah.
And we got St. Cliffo. I think Christian is arguably the best narrator on 50. Blake, you like to give Christian or St. Cliffo some shit. What do you think about that statement?
I think
Cliffo?
Yeah. I think what's going to happen is Jeff is going to look out and he's going to go, all right, there was just a crazy thing that just happened. Christian, what's going on in everyone's head right now? And I think Christian will be his go-to person. I know we're going to get edited and then they'll put them in different orders for us. But I think Christian is the de facto one for that because we do care about. I think people will be like, not lean forward when Christian starts talking, but there is that it's undeniably magnetic presence from that kind of person. And I think Survivor since Christian has tried to cast people that are like him and like, oh, I feel like legs around a bunch of coffee tables right now. And you're like, for Christian, it feels so real, and like he does know how, like his brain is so much bigger and uses vocabulary, but he can talk to every single of the 4 million people watching right now and have somebody go, oh, interesting insight. So I think of those 24 people, there's some other people where I'd be like, oh, well, your expertise, because you're a bodybuilder, was that strength challenge super hard? But I think even Christian could be like, let me talk for Jonathan real quick. Boom, 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 boom. And that's going to be more explicitly interesting. And I'm like, oh, damn. No, Cliffo, they're trying to frame me.
After watching this episode and watching some of those interviews, I'm still so surprised why some of these bigger brochacho guys want to still work with Christian, because Christian got the big brochacho guys out. They know he's able to captivate them and be able to work with them because he is presenting as really loyal, but knows the game well enough to know, all right, these guys have to go. And if the big 50 guys still really want to work with Christian, like Jonathan wants to work with Christian, and it's like, of course you do, but you know what happens if you do work with Christian.
I think the other thing working in his favor is if you watch the rest of this season, which you all probably should, or you all probably have, is they don't really go out because of Christian. Dan and John go out in such insane ways on this season.
He wasn't like fighting for them to stay. He was just like, let's get our David numbers because that's where my alliance is. Yes, we're boys, but I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I do think what Christian has working in his favor is Christian. Again, I think Christian by the Survivor community is mislabeled as a strategist. I don't think he's that good of a strategist. I think he is more of a character. And I'm not saying he can't be a good strategist on this season, but like when Dan goes home with the Bing thing, he was going home no matter what there, no matter what Christian tried to do for him. And when Johnny Mundo goes home, what is it? 2 idols are played and Johnny Mundo goes home or something like that. So like, it was always going to be hard for Christian to protect them. So I think if you're coming into this as like a beefcake, if you're coming into this as Joe Hunter, you can look at Christian and say, he was willing to work with them. Nobody will really expect us to work together. And he's not inherently going to try to vote me out of the game.
But he can't save you either.
That is a good point. That's a good point. It's like having Blake as a friend. He's not going to damage you. He's not really going to help you out. Blake's reading Survivor sucks to figure out what his bit was that he was saying during Christian getting everything on this season. So anyway, I just got punched.
I did want to watch this final tribal council, but boy, am I like, I want to click away when Angelina goes, Natalie.
The second hand,
is it the most awkward moment in 10 years, 20 years, or all 25 years of Survivor?
I don't know. I don't want to hug you right now because it won't be real from Sage and Shannon was a little like also felt really awkward to me.
McKenna loves Sage.
No,
that doesn't.
I think that the Sage Shannon one is probably more uncomfortable because you know that the Sage there isn't just, this isn't going to be authentic. It's also like, I really don't like you, and I've been mocking you for the entire episode. Where the Angelina Natalie, what's so fascinating, this is delusion versus delusion. Like by this point in season 49, Sage has like kind of removed herself from the same plane as Shannon. She's now become the rooting interest. Shannon's kind of gone over the top. Yeah, Daryl Seymour, you cannot take my podcast. But I do feel like when you are watching this happen, Natalie is totally delusional in how she's being perceived by the rest of the people on her cast. But so is Angelina. I mean, when Angelina asks, like, Blake, I totally agree with you. Part of me, every time this comes up, I'm like, all right, I know what happens. I can skip. Because I don't love cringe TV. I don't love cringe humor. And as I'm watching this, when Mike White just puts his head in his hands, like Mike White's entire sense of humor is make people as uncomfortable as possible. That is his whole sense of humor. Make characters who are delusional, make people in audiences uncomfortable as they watch situations where you know it's going to be bad. And he can't even look in this moment because it's so uncomfortable for him. Like it's a different level. And I don't know. I just feel like it's also the like pathetic standing there with her hands in front of her, just Natalie, like at least Shannon
old enough to go there.
Yeah, that's true.
But like Phil's saying, like it's almost a point beyond delusion. Like it's so delusional, it almost feels like it's so genuine at the same time that Angelina's perception of reality is so far gone that it's become reality.
Whatever
Inception,
it is.
or
Yeah.
the top still spinning.
Whatever it is for Angelina, I think that she's learned, and I'm curious what it's going to be like on this season if she can turn it off. I mean, it's like Mike White always says, she's Tracy Flick from Election, which if you haven't seen Election, I mean, it is like the most spot on comparison of all time. And then there, Angelina, though,
if you haven't seen Election, watch Election today. It's that good of a movie.
I mean, is like I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
Blake would be an Election fan.
You don't like Election? Are you joking or no?
No, Election's incredible.
It's incredible. Yeah, like it's Matthew Broderick. Like before you knew Matthew Broderick was a thing for my thought process, and like honestly, Reese Witherspoon has to be one of my favorite actors.
Did you just say a movie from 1999 was Matthew Broderick before he was Matthew Broderick?
And I didn't know him. Like
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Lion King.
Oh, true. War Games. It's old Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick is a man instead of a young boy. It's where he turns into a man, I guess. But now we're talking about
a cinema specialist.
Yeah.
It was, where's the comment? I can't find, I just want to find this comment where it was something on the lines of she wanted to wear the big puffy jacket out on the season and production wouldn't let her. Like the big white Russian jacket. And here it is, Ryan Chan. Angelina just did an interview where she wanted to wear the giant Russian jacket for season 50, but the producers denied her. So she's leaning into the bit more here. Angelina might tell you she was leaning into the bit during David versus Goliath. She was not. This was Angelina going through a little bit of a learning experience. It's not the case, though, for coming into this season. So Blake doesn't pick her with one of his first two picks. How dare he? But maybe there is some growth there after she watched herself back on TV and now has two kids and like is in a totally different spot in her life.
But then she'll be a threat and she'll have to go in final 30 or whatever.
Final 30.
We also know she's closer to some of these other cast members too, right? Like we know she's close to Chrissy Hoffbeck. Like we know that relationship's there, even if Chrissy is denying the fact that she knows Angelina whatsoever, which is hilarious. But we know they're almost besties, essentially. So this older, more mature Angelina approaching this season feels like someone who can look back on the Angelina we got in 37 and still hold that bit of her because it is really her personality, but also bring this elevated version of it that isn't doing these things because of how, like, okay, it's really hard to phrase because, like, I don't think Angelina ever does any of this because of how ridiculous it is. And that's, I think, what makes Angelina so compelling as a character is the character is just a person. And I think now that she's older, what we're going to see is this Angelina who can still be like that, but even more shrewd about it in a way where she might actually convince someone to give her their jacket.
She's unironic like Coach is, but Coach almost won his second season being Coach. Yeah. And so could Angelina do something similar here? Maybe. I mean, we'll have to see. I don't think so. But who knows? Crazier things have happened.
I mean, what sucks is I prayed to God every night whenever I knew 50 was filming, but God hasn't talked to me in a long time.
Are our closets, Blake?
Yeah. Hang in there, Blake. So I'm gonna go to McKenna on this one then to get this in. Why do you think they chose this episode out of all the episodes for David vs. Goliath? These are three people who go very far in the game. Mike and Angelina have their classic ladder moment. Christian has a successful idol play on this season. Like we have a lot of things happen in this season. You could have done Bing because that shows off all three players and it is like this iconic moment. What do you think it is that made them choose Jacket and Eggs going into season 50?
They saw the specialists and were just like, yes, defining episode. But besides that,
fair point.
It does show off all like I think it perfectly shows off what they want to show from Angelina, Mike, and Christian. It shows off Christian's social game and how well he can adapt to his new environments and how well he is personally, and also not too bad in challenges. And then and that he can hold his own and everything like that. Angelina, the iconic jacket moment, not afraid to ask for what she wants. She does the same thing later on in the season with the rice. She's not afraid to negotiate with Jeff to get more rice for the tribe and sit out. And, so, and then Mike White is now in the middle of alliances that he has been kind of towing throughout the entire season with David versus Goliath, being in Camp Goliath, but still having relationships with a bunch of Davids to not cut them. So like he didn't want Nick to go because they were in that Rockstar Alliance and he could always fall back on that if needed. So I think it really shows all of their games in the season in this one episode. We don't know it as we're watching David versus Goliath, but now that we know the result and know kind of what their games are like, it really is just a snapshot of each of their games.
There's something really interesting about this episode when we compare it to the other episodes they're showing as well. This is the third episode of these first 6 where we have someone who definitively knows who's going home voting for someone else in order to smooth things over with someone. Mm-hmm. Like we have it in the Martyr approach where JT votes with Coach for Aaron. We have it in South Pacific where Coach votes with Rick. Mm-hmm. And then we have it here with Natalie Angelina voting with Natalie.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering now, and like, could it just be a coincidence? Probably. But like 3 times we're starting to get a pattern here, right? Like, is this something we should be looking out for in 50?
Or are Survivor episodes where people vote along a line that they act like they don't know what's going to happen, just entertaining?
That just could also just be it.
Because it's going to be hard. I mean, hey, it could happen. I mean, it's a fair thing. I also find it very interesting that, I'm not counting the Heroes Villains premiere. This is the only pre-merge episode they decided to show from the 10. And the David vs. Goliath post-merge is incredible. So to show a pre-merge episode that's not a premiere and have it just be this episode, like drop you off in final 15 and have a good time. Here's your characters. You remember these guys? Go. I feel like that's a pretty interesting decision. It's kind of like I was talking about with the Survivor Devil when McKenna and I talked about it on Friday. That's an interesting episode to show to highlight Chrissy when you just showed the South Pacific finale. Mm-hmm. So you decided to show that finale, but you're not showing Chrissy's finale. You're showing Chrissy's, this episode where Chrissy's kind of in control, but it's really more of a focus on Ben, who knows. So yeah, I don't know. For this to be the only pre-merge one, it's such a great pre-merge episode. I mean, it makes sense that they would show it, but I just do think that it's interesting on a season where the post-merge is so good and all 3 of these players are so impactful in the post-merge that they chose to do a pre-merge episode. It almost feels like they wanted the bit. And they wanted the conversation around the jacket.
Is Christian's out by the rice negotiation? Or is he still in at the rice negotiation?
He's still in. He goes out right before the episode before Angelina finds her idol.
Okay. Because if I'm surprised that they wouldn't show the rice negotiation since it impacts the new era.
Is the rice negotiation not the one with the breadth for search or whatever it is? Is that not that episode? I'm mixing that up.
Is that the one where Dan goes home?
I can't remember. McKenna and I have covered it for the rewind before. And
no, kind of tribal lines are blurred. So the one of this is when Alec and Carl. It's the double boot. Maybe that's
right. That's probably why they don't do it.
Yeah.
How many people that you think would need a refresher to know these 50 players are actually watching these lead up 10 episodes?
So you ready for this, Blake? McKenna and I were talking about the ratings. 2 million people have watched each so far, which last season.
So 2 million people are joining a book club.
Last season, live viewership was around 4 to 4.5. So you're doing almost half of the live viewership before your season airs. You're not promoting these episodes because you're busy promoting season 50 instead. It's happening every night of the week. And it's random episodes where people are probably sitting down to watch these going, I don't remember, South Pacific, but I guess I'll watch that episode. Like you're requiring people to just turn on the TV and throw it on without any previous knowledge. And people are watching, like almost, you're probably talking 45 to 50% of viewers are watching these episodes.
Are we assuming those are the diehards, or are we assuming those are the casuals?
Do you think half the people who watch are diehards in the way that we are, where they're watching the show, podcasts, all this stuff? Or do you think that it's more like 1 million and then there are casuals who are just like, great, something's on TV and it's cold out?
I think there's a more important question to that, Phil. Do you think the diehards are watching Survivor through cable television?
That's the real thing. I think that's a good point, John. Because like, Blake, how did you watch tonight?
I am on the wrong coast, so I watched on Paramount Plus and was over and done with in 41 minutes.
How did you watch, McKenna?
It was crazy.
I work until 8, so I had to watch Paramount Plus. But if I was not working, I would have been watching.
John, how did you watch?
Paramount Plus.
And I watched Paramount Plus as well. So every one of us, 4 people who are sitting here right now talking about this have all watched through Paramount Plus. So I think the numbers are pretty good. And then St. Cliffo says, if there's 1 million diehards, you have more than 29 viewers tonight. First of all, we were up to like 45 earlier, but then Blake looked bored, so everybody left. So we were doing fine. I mean, look, but St. Cliffo, here's a good point. 45 people watching live. We might get 150 to 200 on a normal recap night. You're talking like a quarter of the audience. Like it's not that crazy. It's probably 1 million to 4 million. Like I think that's where we're at on this. So yeah, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't liked the video, like the video. No, it wasn't intended to be shade at all. Just like Blake loves you. He's totally your favorite. So yeah, like the video, like the video, like the video. But yeah, I think that, I think it's very fair to be around like that 45 to 50 mark. Yeah, now we're down at 30, but I think you're probably getting a similar percentage of diehards and casuals watching this.
They've also been posting a 2-minute or so clip to their YouTube channel of Jeff's intro, plus like some bits of the episodes. And those are getting like 5K, 4K views on themselves for like little snippet clips that nobody really cares about.
Yeah.
And that's not the people watching those on Instagram.
Yeah,
and the Instagram numbers are pretty. That's how I've watched them. So I'm still seeing Jeff's intro of Angelina with the jacket. One of my favorite seasons. David versus Goliath. He does the same walk at the exact same part of the beach. Like he's in the same footprints as he goes. It feels like you're doing like a cut scene before like an old like 1990s video game. It's like, okay, here comes our game between the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers. That's what it feels like, because it's the exact same walk every time. But I really appreciate it. I'm mocking there, but I do appreciate these little intros, these little outros. I think they're a lot of fun, and it does build up kind of that hype. I always like TCM, being a big old school movie fan. I always liked when
Rod Serling in freaking the Twilight Zone is the coolest shit ever, where more shows should do that. Like if Phil Kogan was on The Amazing Race and narrated the first 30 seconds instead of like last time on it, and like walked up and it was like, I'm in front of he does a little bit of it, but like it would be so sick. I've been watching a lot of Twilight Zone recently, and it is just the framing of that, and like, get ready for this because it's about to blow your freaking mind. You're headed to the further regions of the Twilight Zone.
Because you have Ben Mankiewicz doing it now, and it used to be Robert Osborne over for the classic movies, but they'll tell you little tidbits about back when it happened. So now when you watch the movie, you kind of look for that. And Jeff doing these little intros make you think to yourself, wow, I should pay attention to this, that. I mean, obviously, you know who's coming back for 50, so you know what you're paying attention to. But this is where I'm saying CBS and Survivor could do stuff like this all the time. And Jeff, like, even if this was a Paramount Plus exclusive after, Jeff could do an intro like this for 300 episodes and put them out on CBS over the course of a bunch of years, and then just throw them on Paramount Plus with that intro. That's what diehard fans want. I'll never forget the time, blah, 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 XYZ, enjoy jackets and eggs. Like, that's fun for people. And I think that that is like a really big part of the draw of this. And I've enjoyed watching those clips, and I think it's a really cool thing they're doing.
I think a big thing I realized today, because I have a group of friends that I've finally convinced to watch Survivor with me, and I had one friend today, because it was we were catching up on the episodes. So I had one friend who'd never seen Survivor before, came over, and we just started with if it smells like or if it looks like a rat, give it cheese, right? And she's completely engaged watching it, and it's just like, yeah, I'm a Survivor fan now. Survivor knew what it was doing, picking those first few episodes to start us off. It's interesting seeing some of the other episodes that were chosen, but like these are engaging people and creating new Survivor fans.
It's true.
It's and so leading people to go back and watch the seasons that have aired certain one-off episodes too.
Yeah, because I mean, you watch Heroes Villains premiere, it's hard not to watch Heroes Villains. And honestly, if you're watching Jackets and Eggs,
I stop myself from watching.
Yeah, it's hard to not watch David versus Goliath. So tomorrow night we have Awkward from Edge of Extinction, which I think is final 7. So that's is it final 7 or 8? When does Ron go?
It's weird because it's Edge of Extinction.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's a family visit of Edge of Extinction. I know that much.
Yeah, because we covered.
Ken and I covered it this season in 49 for the rewind.
Blake, are you going to join us for that one? I know you hate family visits.
No, I like family.
He hates families.
He loves the family visit. It's like Blake's favorite thing. We just watched because we're doing San Juan del Sur for the Patreon. Right before coming on here, my wife and I we watched the John Clean blow up episode. Yeah. I was like, this is Blake's favorite. My wife was like, this episode's so good, and I'm not surprised this is Blake's favorite. Just pure negativity between those two. It's so good.
I guess as a little teaser for Patreon for San Juan del Sur, I watched the first 4 episodes of San Juan del Sur, and it was something where I'm like, this is so invigorating to me specifically. Of like it's so cool to me. Of family member 1 and family member 2 are standing in front of me. One of you go that way, one of you go that way. And the kind of bickering of like, Val, you don't think you could beat me? Or let's try it. And like, it's actually so compelling because it's not just some girl you don't know from Arkansas. That's the person you've chose to live your life with. This will be following you the rest of your life. She's going to be your family visit for the rest of your life when you go on more seasons of Survivor. And it's like one of those things where you're like, how are there no San Juan del Sur people on 50? Like
the cast sucks. It's just a good theme.
Survivor Fact Checker just had like a poll for the top season. San Juan del Sur was ranked 10th.
It's a great season.
Phil's gone.
The other thing that
all we needed to do?
We'll tease a little bit. There's never been a more perfect, like, all-American couple than John Clyn. They are so all-American of, like, she is everything that femininity in America has and is, like, gets rewarded for. And he is everything masculine in, you could teach a class about culture in the United States and what we value on John Clyn.
Wait till you get the wine snob episode.
I just watched that one too. They're connected. It's a double episode. That was the first episode Will and I ever recapped. Was that one? I think it's hidden. I don't think it's out there. I don't think I have my 29 stuff.
Release the tapes.
I mean,
you gotta record an intro video.
I do. I'll do an intro video of like, I was young and didn't know that you're not supposed to insult people when you do recaps. So here we go. Look,
have you learned that lesson yet?
Lirsa, you suck at Survivor.
Yeah, when I'm watching season 29 now, though, like I texted this to Blake. When that shows up at number 10, it has now officially gone from San Juan del Sur was very underrated to now San Juan del Sur is overrated. Like people have overcompensated for the San Juan del Sur hate that there was for so long. And Winners at War was in the top 10. So like, is this even a real list? Like, let's pump the brakes big time. My problem with San Juan del Sur is I like the beginning. The Dale and Kelly boots are boring. Julie quits. That's not great. And then you lose Josh and Jeremy and you're like, wow, there's no one left to root for because Natalie Anderson has 12 confessionals in the first 9 episodes. You don't even know she's on the screen. And you're like, what am I supposed to root for? Keith, I guess, but he can't win. What am I going to root for? Missy? No. Missy's daughter's not even rooting for her. Yes. Missy isn't even rooting for Missy. Like, it's so bad how they edit that season.
Honestly, first
so
four
jackets and eggs.
The first 4 episodes when they are explaining like, why are Baylor and Missy here? Missy has 3 ex-husbands, and the only person who's been with her the whole time is Baylor's dumbass. And together they're gonna do that. I was like, I don't think there's a better intro to a pair of characters in the history of the show. That is
this
so
is why
funny.
no one from 29 is on 50.
This is exactly.
But imagine if they were like, why is Missy not back? And like,
it should be Josh.
Honestly, guys,
Josh is the biggest snub.
Honestly, I've had 5 ex-husbands now. I would be like, cinema. Her talking to Rizzo and like, you don't get married, Rizzo. Trust me, I have 5 husbands.
I would say that the day one on the beach love story between Missy and Coach would hit harder if it was going on her 6th potential husband.
And imagine if Jerry was also there.
I know.
Oh,
I know. Now you got Missy and Jerry fighting over Coach. I like the idea. I like.
Why can't there be 48 people on Survivor 50? If they were going to do,
Mike Gabler pitched 50 people when he was on our podcast. He said it should be 50 and just do it as like a battle royale.
My favorite was James Wallington's version. 2 different games, and then the merges of both of those were the pre-merge of season 50, and then you go.
Mm-hmm.
I did that on an online reality game in like 2009. And whenever they were like, surprise, you didn't make the merge, we're going to play top 20. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, but you weren't playing for $1 million in the title of Soul Survivor.
Oh my God. All right, let's say goodbye.
We're done.
So we can go eat.
Let's get out of here. All right. Thank you all so much for listening. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow, Awkward, season 38. Ron Clark boot. Rick Devens doing his Rick Devens stuff. And then we get into the new era. And I think that's when I tap out. I think I'm sick those days. So we'll see how that works for me. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
It's going to be me talking to the camera.
Yeah, Wednesday night, 50 moves draft, which Blake, you'll be happy to know will not be on that one. So you can smile, something to live for. No, but John,
coming on?
But you get John.
Yeah, it's going to be John, Blake, myself, Tegwith, and Alexa. That'll be the 50 best moves in Survivor history. Traders coverage on Thursday. So big week coming up. Not nearly as big of a week as last week, but still pretty damn big. And then for everybody who's asking about the prop bet, which is a lot of you, and none of you are listening this far in, but in case you are, the prop bet game will be a weekly game this year. Whoever gets the most points at the end of the year will be the winner. And we're starting it on Monday, February 23rd, 5 p.m. I'll be live with Russell Muscle TV. Yes, I literally booked that while we were all sitting here podcasting now. I think Blake was talking and I was like, God, I got to text Russell Muscles. So me and Russell Muscle TV on February 23rd at 5 p.m. Eastern. And that'll be the start of the prop bet game, which will be a weekly thing. That'll be over on Real TV Fantasy this year. If you want to play in our fantasy game, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/thespecialist. Top tier patrons can play in our fantasy game. Winner gets something. I forget exactly what it is. You'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. If you're looking for Survivor 50 buffs, they are on sale now. Mm-hmm. They are on sale, not the merge one, but the other 3. And I know the merge one's not because I owe Austin Garso a buff and he really wants the merge one and they won't put it on. So anyway, the other 3 are up for sale. I know a lot of people have been asking, so go check those out. Otherwise, thanks for listening. This is way too long of a podcast. Bye, everyone. Sam Wandel's overrated.